I thought he was coming to the office to take me here. Actually, there was a there was a union gathering here. The unions used to have their luncheon here. And we were riding on I-240, and the chancellor was telling me all these things about the party and about being a good Democrat. And I thought he was really congratulating me on my new role as chairman of the Democratic Party. And so we came to the event, had a great time, took me back to the law office. And I'm thinking, man, this is great. Senator Jim Kyle, he's really, congratulating me, supporting me, encouraging me as the new chairman of the party. Come to find out that he was really buttering me up because he was running for governor. And it was all about him. And he didn't quite make it as our governor of Tennessee, but he has made it as a great chancellor for Shelby County. He's going to one of our esteemed courts in Shelby County. Chancery Court is where you go to find equity. Equity means fairness. Equity means the person sitting in that seat has to give you a fair shot. And we know that after 30 years of giving Tennesseans a fair shot as a senator, he definitely will give average citizens, people who are working hard every day, people who come to his court, a fair shot as chancellor in Chancery Court. Let's give it up for Chancellor Jim Kyle.
I realize that some of y'all will be going to church tomorrow and may not be able to stay for the entirety of my remarks. I'm having a video taped and reduced to CD-ROMs for everyone who came here tonight because in my own modest way, I wanted you to never forget this evening, as I will not forget this evening. It certainly is a pleasure. I would like to thank Chairman Carson, who has worked very, very hard for the party and has worked very hard to put events like this on. And I can assure you that I will not speak half as long as Joe Brown did last year. And also, I intend only to use no less than 25% of the profanity that he brought to our event. It is very, very special. It was very special and good friends. Let me just mention a couple of things. And, when I resigned after winning the election, I had to resign from the Senate. And I wrote the governor a letter saying that I was asking to resign. But I also put in that note that I would like to go back to the Senate one day and speak to them about some things that were on my mind. And I've decided, quite frankly, that I think the better course of action is for me to talk to y'all. Because I think that y'all just might listen to me. And I found the last couple of years either I was speaking the wrong language or their hearing had gone bad. I was not getting much response. First of all, just to set the record straight, because I want y'all to know what's going on, I am now a Chancery Court judge. And consequently, you'll notice.
Oh my God.
Simple black and white socks is trying to be reasonable.
You can make him do that.
I also want to thank, we have members of the judiciary who came out tonight. I know Judge Haig was here, Felicia Corbin Johnson is here, and other folks. I appreciate y'all coming out to this event. I'll do a couple of things. I'd like to tell y'all a story. It's an old story. It's not as funny as it used to be, but neither am I. But it is one that I hope that some of you will get right away, and some of you will figure it out on like Tuesday or Wednesday or this week. But it's a true story in the sense that when my older daughters were 12 and 13 years old back then, every weekend they had to go spend the night at someone's house. Had to spend the night at someone's house. And of course, these were the same people they'd spent 5 days with in school, but they hadn't seen them in so long, they had to spend the night at their house. And I remember picking Mary up one day from from being, because also the parents love to have the kids spend the night, and they also love to have you come pick their kids up at 8 o'clock the next morning to get them out of the house so they can go do what they need to do. And I remember picking Mary up, and we were driving home, and I could tell, ladies and gentlemen, there was something on her mind. Something was bothering her. And I said, so finally I said, well, what'd y'all do? Did you have a good time? Oh, I had a good time. We had a good time. Well, what'd you do? Well, we watched a movie. And I said, well, is anything about the movie that was unusual? And she says, well, yeah, it was unusual. And I said, well, tell me about the movie. She says, well, Dad, it was about this girl. And she had this terrible job. And she didn't take care of herself. She didn't dress up, and she didn't take care of it. And she lived with her brother. And her brother was abusive and drank and didn't help keep up the house and was mean to her. And things were just going nowhere for her. And one day she met this guy. And she started taking care of herself a little bit better. And she moved along, and that one thing led to another, and they fell in love. And ultimately, they lived happily ever after. And I said, Mary, that doesn't sound like that unique a movie. What was so confusing about the movie? And she says, well, Daddy, it was the title of the movie. And I said, well, what was the title of the movie about the girl who had the terrible job, who didn't dress right, who met the guy, fell in love, and lived happily ever after? She says, Daddy, the movie was called Rocky. The moral of that story is this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to share that with you. How you see things, your perception of things, depends a lot upon where you're from and where you've been. And you've got to be able to respect people's points of view from where they come from. We see things differently, and we judge things based upon what we have seen, based upon our background, based upon our perceptions. And you know, I think we in the Democratic Party have got to work on that aspect of respecting each other's different perceptions. How you see something looks different when you live in Fraser, when you live in Arcadia, when you live in Arlington. We don't have to necessarily agree, ladies and gentlemen, but we've got to respect. We've got to respect. Because we talk about the big tent of the Democratic Party. The big tent of the Democratic Party is held up by the poles of respect. And you can't move around in that tent if we don't have the respect we need to have. I have no doubt, and I cannot go into policy or procedures because of my position as a judge, and we're not allowed to do that. And we could, we have media here. But that being said, I have no doubt that the National Democratic Party is going to have a very successful election in 2 years. And I have every reason to believe that Tennessee can be a part of that if we all start respecting each other's opinions, try to come together, and try to be a player. We need to do that. Now, it's been said several times tonight that I've left politics, and I guess I have, but I haven't quit thinking, and I haven't, that my heart hasn't quit beating, and my love for this community and this city has not diminished a bit. I am excited about the good I can do as Chancery Court Judge. I just want y'all to know, I've been judge for 48 days, and I haven't lost one time. I am undefeated. And everyone has been nice. It's different. It's different. And it's good. I want to thank the folks giving up their time, our roasters, and the time they spent to prepare. I'd like to thank Larry Miller for spending that $8 on a pair of socks that he bought at the dollar store. I mean, that's twice as much as what he usually buys a pair of socks. And I appreciate that a whole lot. I appreciate the food. My children have given up a lot to be the child of a public figure, and I want to publicly, seriously, in all seriousness, acknowledge them being here tonight and thanking them. You can only go as far as your family will let you go. You can only do as far as your family will let you do. And they have weathered storms. They have weathered storms, and I want to recognize my sister and her husband are here. My sister Pam. Pam was referred to her brother Mike as her little friend, and I was her big brother. I don't know if that's still the case now. But I appreciate y'all coming out tonight and being here. I appreciate every one of y'all giving up Saturday night. Giving up Saturday night to the Democratic Party. Giving up Saturday night to the Democratic Party to have Democratic candidates. I will say I do believe, just like in airlines, that the citizens of the 30th Senatorial District are getting an upgrade in the concept of Senator Kyle, and I think we'll all know that's the case in 2 years. I thank you so very much. I want to encourage each and every one of you. We are in an election cycle. There is voting done today. Yes, sir. And we need to encourage our friends and encourage our folks. But to go back to what I said, we need to respect each other's opinions and respect each other's views. And just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't be Democrats. And I want to personally thank my wife for all that I've put her through for the time that I've been in the Senate. It has not been easy. At times, I would say it's probably been fun sometimes, but it is not. But sometimes fun isn't easy either. I see each of y'all contributing to this party and this community. I want to thank you. I want to thank you so very much. And to close as I always do, God bless the United States of America. God bless the state of Tennessee. And God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so very much.